Here we go. What is going on? Cover one crew. Chris Chow's back again. Hope everybody's doing great out there. I'm doing good. You know, the weekend is approaching. It is upon us. And, you know, let's continue down this trend of wide receiver rankings Dynasty edition. We got to know. I just did the running backs. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. It's a fluid event, okay? I'll put it that way. We got to understand the values for these players as we enter into the offseason very shortly, because a lot of trades will be transpiring. I'm going to give you the values as we sit today, as we're almost in to February. I'm telling y'all, wide receivers, there's a lot of differences between running backs and wide receivers. I got y'all with these pass catchers because, I mean, there's a boatload of them. Might be even more than running backs. I'm not even kidding. There's so many good wide receivers. So let's waste no time. Dive into those wide receiver rankings, Dynasty style, baby. Let's go. You know, the best part of the wide receiver position in the NFL right now is there was a massive influx of supreme talented wide receivers over the past several years. So we have got the cupboard stocked. It is stock loaded and piled. I mean, I probably messed that up, but whatever. It is great, and I love it. Top 25, let's go, man. Number 25, Jameson Williams, Detroit Lions. And I love this kid, man. His skill set is absolutely phenomenal. 21 years of age. Yes, he did finish as the wide receiver 152. But, I mean, the ACL precluded him from playing a lot of football this year. We knew, and, I mean, a lot of Detroit fans, I get it. I was on a Detroit Lions podcast. Great people over there, but they were over-ambitious. They were talking the fact that they believed that Jameson was going to be suiting up in September. I said, y'all be crazy, because, I mean, an ACL typically takes 11 months just to get healed, and then you got to have, you know, football-shaped time and get ready for. I said Jameson was likely going to be end of November, early December, and that's exactly what transpired. We saw him on the field. The speed looked good. They were just trying to get his feet wet in the league. Then they're going to unleash him next season. Likely going to see him and Amon-Ra be a absolute dominating 1-2 punch in this Detroit Lion offense. And Jared Goff, he actually looks a lot better in Detroit these days. I mean, Jared Goff is a serviceable quarterback that can support high-end, high-octane wide receivers. We've seen it with the LA Rams. Now we're going to see it once again with the Detroit Lions. Jameson Williams, number 25, age and absolute, you know, trajectory of supreme talent. That's why I got him at 25. Number 24, DJ Moore, Carolina Panthers. He is age 25, wide receiver 22 this past year. I like DJ Moore, and I'm not going to, sugarcoat the problems. Everybody knows the issues in Carolina. Yes, the news broke that they just hired Frank Reich to be the new bench boss, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. I like it. It's going to bring a different dynamic to this offense, to this team, and we know Frank Reich is a good play caller. But again, he finds himself in a very similar situation. Frank Reich does. He does not possess a quarterback on this club that is, overly valued. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold. We still had that rookie that basically was on the IR, Matt Corral. He was on the IR basically the entire year. Is the starting quarterback on this roster? Likely not. They will be looking to improve, and that should raise a DJ Moore up the ranks. That's why I got him at 24 right now. He's a very consistent wide receiver in terms of PPR work, not in terms of touchdown upside, and that's been crippling his overall stock his entire career. Maybe if they get a true quarterback in there, they haven't had one since Cam Newton. So, I mean, maybe they're going to get somebody this year and Frank Reich can turn the ship around because he still is a very good play caller, and DJ Moore should be still a focal point of this offense as they move forward. Number 23, Jerry Jeudy, the Denver Broncos. And I get it, okay? The Denver Broncos offense was absolutely horrific. We couldn't trust nothing coming from it. Except Jerry Jeudy finished as a wide receiver 21. He is only 23 years of age. He looked good when given the opportunities. I am a Jerry Jeudy supporter, always have been. Loved his game at Bama. And I mean, okay, he's had some dropping problems. He's had some injury issues. Kind of cleaned it up a little bit more this year. Maybe they're going to get a little bit, better offensive production. We're hoping this year. But I like Jerry Jeudy overall as a dynasty prospect. Hopefully they get a better play caller and Nathaniel Hackett's out the door. Thank God he went to the New York Jets, which is bad. I'm stumbling on my words. But Jerry Jeudy still, to me, is very much a young, unfinished product. The needle is definitely pointing in the right direction for Jeudy. And maybe Russell Wilson, Sean Payton, they're talking. But, I mean, Denver doesn't have any picks to be getting a Sean Payton. You got to trade for Payton. But Jerry Jeudy, they should be able to at least figure it out where that wide receiver 21 should at least increase into the top 20 this year, which is why I got him at 23. Number 22, Michael Pittman, Indianapolis Colts, 25 years old, finished as a wide receiver 23. Again, similar problems that we see with wide receivers that I do like and covet. Michael Pittman is one of those individuals as well. I'm a big fan, big supporter. I think he's got a massive amount of talent. Dropping bombs were evident this year. And, I mean, okay, Matt Ryan, the quarterback, piss poor, like I said, performance. What could you say? Now, we'll see how this goes. I could even find reasons to believe I can drop a Michael Pittman down my board that much more down, not up, because they still don't have a quarterback, the quarterback position settled. They don't have their head coach. We don't understand the offensive schemes and systems right now. It is not a good situation in Indy right now. No real supportive wide receivers outside of Alec Pierce. Paris Campbell is a free agent. They're going to have to draft really well. They're going to have to go to the well on the free agent market. There isn't a huge heap of wide receiver talent on the open market this season, so the draft is where it's going to have to be done. So again, you're going to have to develop more supportive pieces for a Michael Pittman unless they make a trade of some sorts and bring somebody, maybe a DeAndre Hopkins, who knows? But they don't have a quarterback. So everything is determined on the quarterback, on the head coach, on the offensive coordinator in Indy right now. That's why I got Michael Pittman at 22, because he could, really disappoint once again. Did not have the best of seasons as the offense was, going through the floor in garbage. It was not good, man. It was not good in Indy whatsoever. Number 21, Mike Evans, the guy that's absolutely unbelievably consistent, underrated, underappreciated superstar. As of right now, he is in the point we can say that he is going to be a Hall of Famer eventually. 1,000-yard seasons in all of his, 9 seasons he's been in the NFL. Absolutely insane what he's been able to do with lackluster quarterback play to boot outside of Tom Brady. And Tom Brady was in his twilight years. We know this, but he still finishes as the wide receiver 16. The reason I got him at 21 is because he's 29 years old. Tom Brady is going to be likely no more a Buccaneer. And that's a cause for concern. Who's going to be the quarterback? Kyle Trask right now is the quarterback on the roster. I don't think we could trust that, can we? I'm definitely not trusting that. So we'll see what direction they do end up going, what the offensive coordinator is going to look like in Tampa Bay. So, I mean, it's a lot of moving parts once again for this club as well. So Mike Evans, even though he has proven to do it with a lesser quarterback play, even though Jameis Winston did sling the ball around a lot, which was a high benefit, we'll see who is going to be the quarterback. That's why I got Mike Evans at 21. Age and, diminishing offensive prowess. You do not like it in Tampa Bay right now. Top 20, I got Scary Terry McLaurin from the Washington Commanders, the Commies. I love me some Terry, man, and Terry is a great talent, undervalued, represented in most circles. But it's the consistency rates with the Terry McLaurin that kills you in fantasy football. That is the main problem and why I got him here at 20. If they ever end up figuring out their quarterback spot, maybe Sam Howell is the guy. I'm crossing my fingers. Big supporter of a Sam Howell. I did say he was one of the most pro-ready quarterbacks in this past draft. And he proved it when he came out. He is a true leader, Sam Howell is, and he could put this offense on his back and support it with a Jahan Dotson who pulls coverage away from Terry McLaurin. Jahan is one that's going to be rising up my board. He could even crack my top 25 as well as this offseason does move forward. But Terry right now, he is a true, number one wide receiver. They just need a system and a quarterback that can support him on the regular. Get that, he's well under 50% for consistency, boom games. And right now, I want to see that go above the 50% mark before I can raise him above 20. But 27 years of age, wide receiver 14 for Terry McLaurin this past year. Still very, very good statistics for a wide receiver that we can basically plug and play as our wide receiver 2-3. And you got to love Terry McLaurin. No kidding, man. Number 19, Drake London. He is 21 years of age, wide receiver 36. I may be a little bit ambitious here. I do like a Drake London, but again, we have the quarterback situation. Is Desmond Ridder going to be the guy? Are they going to continue to move with the youth movement in Atlanta? Atlanta. We're hearing rumor that Lamar Jackson could potentially be a trade target for these Falcons. That would change a lot as well. Drake London would fly up my board if they do get a Lamar Jackson. But as we said today, we got to speak about what we know, and what we know is that Desmond Ridder is a starting quarterback. Drake London did impress as the season did move forward. Wide receiver 36, like I said, he didn't wow in a lot of contests, but he did give you some optimism to believe that the needle was pointing in the right direction. Drake London is full of talent, and I mean, if Kyle Pitts ever gets the ball thrown, he got targets. I shouldn't say that. Kyle Pitts got targets, just could never convert because the passes were so bad. If these two gentlemen can figure things out, Drake London and Kyle Pitts, I mean, I could be the quarterback and just throw it in their vicinity, and then they're going to come down with the ball. So definitely Drake London is a guy that I definitely want on my team, especially at the youthful age of 21. He's got talent for days. Drake London right now is a number 19 ranked wide receiver for me. Number 18, Amari Cooper, Cleveland Browns, the Brownies. Amari Cooper surprised me statistically overall because his season was so up and down. Jacoby Brissett did end up finding a lot of chemistry with him as his time went on, but then when Deshaun Watson came back, it started to, do the rebuild of chemistry building once again. He still finished as the wide receiver 9. I was shocked when I broke down the numbers. Couldn't believe it. Half PPR, wide receiver 9. That's a damn good season for an Amari Cooper. As Donovan Peoples-Jones started to, develop his game, started pulling more coverage, Amari started having more 100-yard performances, finding the end zone that much more, and it was starting to turn the corner and look decent for an Amari Cooper. At 19, or at rank 18, he is 28 years of age. We will see how this Cleveland Browns offense does move. I could definitely make a case for putting Amari Cooper in the top 15, but like I said, there are so many youthful, talented wide receivers that this is a luxury at this point for dynasty managers to have an Amari Cooper on your team, even as your wide receiver 1, and you're still ranking him at rank 18, and he finishes in the top 10 of wide receivers. It's absolutely phenomenal situation for all Amari Cooper owners. I would not hate shopping his services if you're in that mold. If you're looking to upgrade and you're looking to get a little more youthful and you got an Amari Cooper, I would fly out, some trade offers and see what the appetite is for this man, because he still has a good few years left in him. No kidding. And if he gets on the same page with a Deshaun Watson, lights out, man. We could see a lot of high-end productivity for Amari Cooper. Number 17, Deebo Samuel, and this feels dirty. I don't like it. I wanted to go higher. We know what Deebo is. Injuries did preclude him from being that top 20 wide receiver this year. He was a wide receiver 38, so I take that with a grain of salt. I mean, it's not a regular occurrence that we see Deebo constantly hurt like he was this year. The 49ers offense, on the other hand, is the issue. Now they got Christian McCaffrey, removes the rushing upside from a Deebo. That's a big problem for me as well. 27 years of age. His age is increasing. Injuries are starting to pile up on the man because of the overuse and overworkload. Now you got a Christian McCaffrey, so now you're not necessarily going to be utilizing him on the ground anymore. So now can he be that trusted commodity in fantasy football, being the, basically the slot guy, the guy that's going to be the yak machine like we saw in the playoff game. I mean, he's still got wheels for days. He took that ball on that crosser and he turned it up, and the Jets were on the afterburners. So, I mean, Deebo is still an unbelievable talent in this league, and he still will produce a high level of volume and upside for your fantasy team. 17, though, because of all these wide receivers that I've got coming up on my list, I had to put him at 17. I had no choice. Number 16, DK Metcalf, Mr. Cyborg himself. They turned my heads this year in Seattle. Everybody, including myself, thought that they were going to be an absolute dump fire. It was not going to be good news. And him and Geno, and I mean, this offense actually moved. Kudos to Pete Carroll for actually being able to do this. I think he got snubbed for Coach of the Year nomination at least. Because, I mean, everybody thought this team was going to be, a 3-2-4-win team this year, and he absolutely turns it around. DK has a 1,000-yard season with a Geno Smith. Geno supported 2 1,000-yard wide receivers, so the ability for DK Metcalf to continue this prowess is definitely there as well. He's going to be at least a reliable wide receiver 2 for you moving forward for the next several years, especially if they decide to bring Geno back. The chemistry and the camaraderie is only going to continue to build in that direction. DK is only 25, finished as a wide receiver 18. You cannot hate that. He is my 16th ranked wide receiver. Top 15, we got DeAndre Hopkins, Arizona Cardinals. He is 30 years old, and I mean, okay, You cannot negate elite alpha wide receiver talent. You cannot negate it even in Dynasty. At 30 years, everyone's looking to shop and sell DeAndre Hopkins. He did not fall off a cliff. He just took PEDs and got busted. That's the only reason he finished as the wide receiver 47. He came back and he was absolutely dominant on the field when Kyler Murray was playing. When Kyler went down, different story. I mean, you had a rotation of quarterbacks that took over and tried to continue this move of this offense to, at least go in the right direction. Did not necessarily pan out. We did get some stinkers from DeAndre Hopkins as the season wore on. That wasn't necessarily his fault. There are a lot of rumors, in fact, that DeAndre Hopkins could be dealt this offseason as the Cardinals look to trim some salary on the cap. And there's a lot of options here, man. We're here in New England. We're hearing a lot of teams looking that they could potentially trade for a DeAndre Hopkins if he gets himself finally a consistent, reliable quarterback. Not saying that Kyler Murray isn't one, but I'm talking a quarterback that we can trust throwing the football that much more. Even if we're talking New England and it is Mac Money Jones, I don't hate that because Mac Jones was able to support a plethora of wide receivers at Alabama, and I know you bring an alpha like a DeAndre Hopkins, it's going to be music to Mac Jones' ears, and Bill Belichick loves the man, so I would definitely watch out for that. If he goes to New England, that could be raising him a little bit higher up the board than 15. Number 14, my guy, Chris Olave, CO2. Like I said, man, he changed his number to 12, ruined my nickname, but I'm still going to coin him CO2 because that's his college number. He is my 14th ranked wide receiver, 22 years of age, wide receiver 25. And what he was able to accomplish this year, I called Olave in this past draft. When I broke down all the scouting reports, I said he's the safest wide receiver in this class, and he definitely proved it. He started out the gates extremely well, and he continued it during the entire regular season. He was the safest rookie wide receiver, very close to his counterpart there, Garrett Wilson, in statistical achievement. They're not far off in rank, but I mean, a couple points here or there, it's going to drop the ranks, but they were very close statistically, and I'm a huge fan. I think Chris Olave is the real deal. He's got a nose for that end zone. His speed is legit, and he's got hands for days. So for me, Olave at 22 years old, 14 is an absolute bargain. He doesn't have the absolute all-star cachet just yet, so if you are looking for a wide receiver to get on your roster with youth, Chris Olave is that guy. Go and get his services. You may overpay, but it's going to be worth it in the long run, especially if these New Orleans Saints get a quarterback. His value should increase, tenfold in that respect. So definitely right now is the time to buy a Chris Olave. Number 13, T. Higgins, Cincinnati Bengals, 24 years of age, wide receiver 17. Playing with Jamar Chase is a nice thing. It's a nice option. It gives, all the defensive backs, they got to go to Chase's side before they cover T. Higgins. But T. Higgins is a wide receiver one in this league. We know that he is. He's an alpha wide receiver. He makes all the plays that come his way. He does deal with some injuries. That's a little bit of the issue when it comes to Higgins. Can Cincinnati pay this man? That's going to be the question as they move forward to his contract, which will be coming up, I believe, next season. These are the things we got to watch. So, I mean, if he does go to another club where he is going to be the default wide receiver one, he's going to get crazy volume. If he stays in Cincinnati, this bodes well for seeing lesser coverage come to his side, and he's going to flirt with top 10, top 15 wide receiver ends for a regular season if he can stay healthy. T. Higgins is an absolute beast, and as long as he stays with Joe Burrow, you're going to see that, like I said, the top 15 numbers come your way. I got him at rank 13 because I'm a big believer in what T. Higgins can do. Number 12, Devontae Smith. I almost messed up his name. 24 years of age, wide receiver 10 this year. Okay, and I was completely wrong. And I'm going to admit it because I've done it on many shows. I undervalued what this Eagles offense was going to be able to do. I did not say I did not like it. I did not say I did not support the Eagles offense. What I did say is I wanted Jalen Hurts to prove it, and he did, and he looked damn good. He supported many 1,000-yard wide receivers in A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Smith looks good, and we knew what Smith was. Yes, Alabama did utilize him more in that gadget role, the sweeps, the short outs, and then in the red zone, the short crosses. That's what they were doing with him. This year, we've seen multiple ways the Eagles use Smith. Deep, short cross, corner 7 routes. We've seen it all the time with Devontae Smith, and he is legit a true product as a wide receiver one potential. There is potential there. Having A.J. Brown is like the Chase and Higgins effect, where you get all the man coverage or the the best coverage, I should say, going over to A.J. Brown's side, and then you got Smith able to pick up the pieces and just run free. This is good stuff for you if you are a Devontae Smith owner, because wide receiver 10 this past year, they will only continue to improve. This Eagles offense is extremely young, and they're continuing to build. They got 2 first-round picks. It's just, the rich get richer in Philadelphia, because that's exactly what's going to happen. And Jalen Hurts, if he doesn't fall off a cliff and only continues to improve, this offense in this pass game is going to continue to improve as well, and so will Smith. He's an absolute bargain at rank 12 as well. Number 11, Garrett Wilson, New York Jets. Okay, and hear me out, because I could have put Smith above a Garrett Wilson, but the talent in Garrett Wilson is supreme. Just like a Chris Olave, from 14 to 11, it's a very slight difference in all of these talented wide receivers. Wilson finished as the wide receiver 19. He is 22 years of age. He looked good. Even when Zach Wilson came in, you could see he was trying extremely hard to find ways to get open. When it was the other quarterbacks, he was getting open and he was making massive plays. So Garrett Wilson is just scratching the surface for me. Yes, I don't like the fact they hired Nathaniel Hackett. I may have to reevaluate the 11th rank and drop him down a bit simply because of Nate Hackett and his vanilla offensive play calling. That ice cream doesn't come in other flavors with Nathaniel Hackett, I'm telling y'all right now. But Garrett Wilson, based on talent and age alone, rank 11 is definitely fair to me as we sit today. It may change as we get into the offseason, but as of today, it's definitely fair. Number 10, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown. Age 23, wide receiver 8, and my comp for him coming out of the draft was a lesser Robert Woods, and I think I undervalued that just a little bit. Loved what Amon-Ra could do. I knew that this man in the slot was just going to be an absolute terror, and he showcased that all season long. Now you're going to get, like I said, a Jameson Williams back, and it's going to be an absolute devastating 1-2 punch for opposing defensive coordinators to, scheme up on the weekly. Amon-Ra is just basically open all the time. He's an absolute great route runner, supreme in that fashion, and he's got hands for days as well. He finds the end zone with good frequency in this offense, and they're going to continue to throw the ball with Jared Goff. They looked good. Detroit fans, you definitely should be smiling after what you saw this season, and Amon-Ra is a big catalyst in that success, and he should continue. Top 10 may go down for his finish only because Jameson Williams can take the top off of any defense, and you damn well know that they're going to be testing the defenses with Jameson Williams a lot next year, so there will be a lot of receptions. The yardage may pull back, and the TD upside may go down for an Amon-Ra this next season, so that's why I got him at 10 right now, where a lot of people got him in the top 5, if you can believe it, man. Number 9, Jalen Waddle time. I've always been a fan of these Alabama wide receivers. Like I said, the influx of wide receivers is just like a joy to cover because you can't really get this wrong. All these guys are so talented and so good. Jalen Waddle is great. What's going to happen with Tua Tagovailoa? That is the big question. Waddle is 24 years of age, finished as the wide receiver 7, and everybody and their dog this offseason said Tua could not support 2 wide receivers in this offense. I told y'all the difference. They were going to coexist because speed dictates success, and this offense was ready to move, okay? Tua is not a terrible quarterback. He's just doesn't have an arm. It's a noodle of an arm for the deep ball. Where he does succeed and succeed extremely well is in that mid-range, 15 to 20 yards down the field, over the middle, the button hooks and the outs and the crosses. That's what Tua is extremely good at. Very accurate in that respect, and that's where Jalen Waddle that's basically his office. That's where he makes all his money. Waddle's going to continue to improve. We'll see, man. We're hearing rumors that Tom Brady might go to Miami, which would absolutely lift Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill up the board that much more because we know that, this is Tom Brady's MO. You got 2 speedy wide receivers that can play anywhere from 10 to 15 yards in the middle of the field. That's Tom Brady's office in his own right. So, it's going to be an interesting offseason, no kidding. But Jalen Waddle, based on talent and age, he sits at number 9 for me. Number 8, Stephon Diggs. Stand up, Buff Bills Mafia. He's 29 years old, visibly frustrated after the playoff disappointment. He finished as a wide receiver 4. So the Bills offense getting a lot of criticism based on this game that they played against the Bengals. Yes, it was not good. Yes, it was extremely, a bad overall showing, scheme-wise, player-wise, execution-wise. However you want to cut it, the Bills got owned, and we got to own it as fans. Stephon Diggs is still one of the best wide receivers in this entire NFL. and ranking him at number 8, I did not like, but I had no choice, okay? At 29 years of age, there's not going to be a lot of more opportunity. Maybe, 3 years left, 4 years maybe of high-end productivity. We should start to see it dip down just a tad. Not this year, not next year. I do believe that Stefon Diggs will still be one of the top 5 wide receivers in fantasy football as they continue to move, because Josh Allen still is a quarterback, and he knows how to get him the ball. Stefon Diggs is a good value get at this point if you are going for fantasy championships. I would not sell the farm, but I would get Stefon Diggs on my team. Rank 8 is where I got him. Number 7, Tyreek Hill. 28 years of age, wide receiver 3, and we just know what Tyreek does. It's all speed. It's all yak. He can go deep, burn anybody on the field. He's going to continue to do it, and if it's with Tom Brady, good Lord in heaven, help us all in the AFC East. I mean, because Tom will muster up enough to at least get these speedy wide receivers the ball. Waddle at 9, Tyreek at 7. I mean, it is what it is. These guys produce top 8 numbers. Even with the age of Tyreek Hill at 28, I make the same argument with a Stefon Diggs, but I'm saying right now, him and Tyreek neck and neck, wide receiver 4 to wide receiver 3. I think the value here at 8 and 7 is definitely justifiable. Number 6, we got Cooper Kupp. He's 29 years old. You see what I'm saying? Most Dynasty guys are going to be like, no, drop them down the board. Drop them. They're too old. I don't want them anymore. They're still high-end producers. How can you drop high-end productivity down your board? I will not do it, and I refuse to do it. You still got another couple seasons where this value still is at high end, and even if they do start to fall off this year, you will still get name cachet and trade them for great value on return. So do not give me this garbage that I got to, rank all these, younger wide receivers that much higher than proven commodities in fantasy football, because what I say before in the running back video, I'm in it to win it as well, and this is very fair rank. Cooper Kupp did deal with some injuries this year. Yes, the Rams offense did not look good. Matthew Stafford was injured. We saw Sean McVay was potentially going to retire. He's coming back to the mix in the fold, so that's good news for the Rams. Cooper Kupp should be absolutely healthy. So should Matthew Stafford, so the draft will be very interesting, even though the Rams don't have many picks. We could see Jalen Ramsey and company, some players get traded this offseason, recoup some of those picks, and Cooper Kupp should pick up where he left off and continue to be a top 5 wide receiver. Number 5, let's go to this top 5, Davante Adams, and he's 30 years old, wide receiver 2. He's a freak. He's a freak of nature, and we could see rumors again. Davante Adams could get dealt to another team. We could see Aaron Rodgers come to the Las Vegas Raiders. That would change a lot too, man. Could you imagine Aaron Rodgers coming to Las Vegas to reunite with his boy Davante Adams? They would just kill it in Vegas. That's why I got him here at number 5. There's so many options that could potentially happen where it's in the benefit of Adams, even though he was a killer on the field. Wide receiver 2, basically consistent, hits you every week with numbers. That's why I got him at number 5, and I don't even care about age because Davante's still going to go for at minimum 2 more years, and if you get Aaron Rodgers there, it's at least 3. The value's off the charts, man, and he's going to definitely continue to put you up anywhere from 15 to 20 points per week. That's why I got him at number 5. Number 4 is where we kind of see the youth movement come back to pass in the top 5. I got CeeDee Lamb at number 4. Everyone's going to say, what? What are you talking about, CeeDee Lamb? I've been on this wagon for so long. Loved it at OU, and he's continuing it, man. This was the year that he had to prove that he could be the alpha dog, number 1 wide receiver. Started out the gates a little bit slow. Jerry Jones, the owner, he did question the ability, kind of called out CeeDee Lamb, and Lamb answered the bell, man. He was there every single week. Dak Prescott was feeding him. He did this all. Wide receiver 6 numbers at the end of the season for CeeDee Lamb. He did this with Cooper Rush for a majority of the season. CeeDee Lamb's a dog, man. 23 years of age. You cannot hate that value at number 4. CeeDee Lamb is here to stay, and I'm planting my flag in that he is definitely a top 5 dynasty wide receiver, man. Number 3, A.J. Brown, grown-ass man. A.J. Brown. What can you say about this guy? Okay, I had my question marks again. I went to the offseason, and I was saying last offseason, I said, can Jalen Hurts support this offense? Question mark. Is A.J. Brown going to stay healthy? Question mark. Because we saw how many times he found himself in the medical room in Tennessee and could not play through it. He was playing through injuries a number of occasions in Tennessee. Did not happen this year. It was a very different season. So apparently A.J. Brown likes playing in Philadelphia. That's a great sign. He is only 25 years of age, is the wide receiver 5 as he finished the season this year. A.J. Brown is a rank number 3 for me because the way that this Philly offense, like I'm saying about a Devontae Smith, they got 2 first-round picks. They're only going to continue to get better. Jalen Hurts' contract comes up after next season, so contract season for quarterbacks, if they don't re-sign him before that and give him the extension, A.J. Brown in this offense is going to continue to hum and move because there's too many weapons. A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and Devontae Smith. I mean, good Lord almighty, defenses are going to have a tough time for years to come. And with all this youth, A.J. Brown is definitely number 3 for me. Number 2 and number 1, this is exciting. Jamar Chase, number 2 for me. And Justin Jefferson is my top-rated wide receiver. It's like 1A, 1B, 1A, 1A if you want to say it. These guys are absolutely stellar, absolutely phenomenal athletes and talents, and every single week they can put on a show. Jamar Chase falls down the ranks just a little bit. At the end of the season, he finished as the wide receiver 12, only due to injury, where Justin Jefferson did finish as a wide receiver 1. Chase is 22, where Jefferson is 23, respectively. Both these wide receivers are the elite crop of the NFL wide receiver talent right now in terms of youth, in terms of point productivity, in terms of taking games over and being the trusted source for their quarterbacks. These are the guys you want on your team. You will not get them because any manager that has them, I mean, it's going to take multiple first-round picks to get them anywhere in the conversation of getting these gentlemen traded at this point. So, I mean, if you got lots of picks and you got players you want to move on from, I get it, offer the deal. But, I mean, if I'm one of these, if I'm a Chase or a Jefferson owner, I am not shopping these services because, I mean, 1 and 2, like I said, 1A, 1A, these guys are absolutely killer wide receivers, and they will be for the next 8 years plus. No kidding. So there you go. I mean, that's wide receivers for you. So there you have it. That is the rankings, like I said, for wide receivers. And I mean, okay, you guys, I understand. Like I said in the last video, I understand it. Everyone has their ways of building their dynasty teams. Just ask yourself one question. How many trophies have you won? If you haven't won many, it's time to change up your strategy and understand what I'm saying, man. We can still get great value on older talents, and if you have to rebuild, start selling the older players with higher end value and get those picks in the draft. You got to do this, but once you start building, don't keep rebuilding because you're always going to be in that purgatory and you're never going to be competing for championships. I'm giving you the opportunity in these rankings to see where the point productivity value rests along with players with age and potential. That's how you got to view it, in my opinion. Hope you guys follow it and get great success because I hope that's what I'm here for, to help you guys out and keep you on the train. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts, go in the comments. You don't like my ranks, I'm telling you, I'll throw it in the comments. I don't get offended, we'll talk it out. But we'll see you next time. I am out.